The Girl Who Spoke Two Worlds. A story from Ubang. In the quiet hills of Cross River State, where mist clung to the trees in the early mornings, and the earth glowed red beneath bare feet, there lay a small community called Ubang. To outsiders, Ubang appeared ordinary mud homes, narrow footpaths, the rhythm of daily life moving with the sun. But Ubang held a secret, unlike anywhere else in the world. In Ubang, men and women did not speak the same language. They shared the same homes, the same farms, the same fires. They understood one another perfectly, yet the words they used were different, shaped not by age or class, but by gender. A woman would point to water and say Aman. A man would lift the same calabash and call it Uman, fire. Crackling at the center of every compound was Oto in the women's language. Among the men, it was Enyen. The sun that rose faithfully each morning was Asari to the women, but Akpan to the men. Different sounds, same meaning, and it was in this village of divided words that Aloye was born. Aloye was young, beautiful, and curious in a way that made elders pause and smile. Her laughter traveled easily along the red earth paths, but it was her eyes that told the deeper story. They were always searching, always listening. From childhood, Aloye learned two ways of speaking. With her mother and the women of the compound, she spoke the women's language. When her mother handed her a bowl, she would say, "Bring the Amen," and Aloye knew exactly what to do. When the women gathered around the fire in the evening, one might say, "Feed the Oto," and Aloye would add wood to the flames without hesitation. But when Aloye listened to her father and the men beneath the Iroko tree, the words changed, though the meaning did not. "Bring the Uman," the men would say. "Mind the Enyen," they warned the children. Aloye never spoke those words aloud. Tradition forbade it, but she understood them all. The same water, the same fire, different names. As Aloye grew older, expectation wrapped around her like a familiar cloth. She was meant to speak only the women's language. That was the balance chosen by the ancestors. That was the order that kept Ubang whole. Yet Aloye carried something unusual within her. She carried both worlds. One evening, as the sun Asari, as the women called it, Akpan to the men, sank behind the hills, Aloye sat beside her grandfather near the fire. His face was lined with age, his voice heavy with memory. "Grandfather," she asked softly, "why must our words be divided?" He stared into the Oto, watching the flames dance. "Long ago," he said, "our people believed language was power. Men were given one set of words, women another. To mix them was thought to weaken balance." Aloye tilted her head. "But when you say Enyen and I say Oto, we both feel the same warmth." Her grandfather turned and studied her. Then he smiled, not in disagreement, but in wonder. As the seasons passed, Aloye's beauty became known throughout Ubang, but it was her voice and her listening that made her unforgettable. At the market, misunderstandings often rose, like dust. A woman might say, "There is no Aman left," and a man would frown, misunderstanding her tone rather than her words. Aloye would step in gently. "She means the water is finished," she would explain, shaping women's speech into men's understanding. "The Umun must be fetched again." Children gathered around her, fascinated. "She speaks like us," the girls said. "She understands like us," the boys whispered. Some elders frowned. Change unsettled them, but others watched Aloye closely. Then came the day when words nearly broke the village. A dispute arose between families, small at first, but swollen by misheard meaning. Voices rose. Accusations flew, tangled in language rather than truth. Before fear could harden into anger, Aloye stepped forward. She spoke first in the women's language, slow, respectful, clear. Then she turned and spoke in the men's language, not loudly, not boldly, but accurately. She did not challenge tradition. She did not claim authority. She translated understanding. Silence followed. For the first time, everyone saw it clearly. The problem was never the difference in words. It was the failure to listen beyond them. That night, the elders gathered beneath the stars. By morning, Ubang had not abandoned its traditions, but it had grown. Aloye was given a new role, storyteller and teacher. She taught children the meanings behind words, the patience required to hear them, and the respect needed to hold two truths at once. She did not erase the old ways. She honored them while gently expanding them. And so, in Ubang, where men still say uman and women still say aman, there lives a story about a young and beautiful girl who proved that understanding is stronger than division. Because sometimes, the most powerful voice is not the loudest one, but the one that knows how to speak to everyone.